Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, Fraulein.
Good morning.
It's Friday. It is November what? It's Friday, November 3rd. Hey, Wurstfest begins today.
Yeah.
There's breaking news to Justin. He didn't know.
Yeah.
But there's a web article. What's that?
You do
Yes.
now. It's a web article right
All
now.
right. So it's on today, later today, 4 to 11 p.m. Runs through the 12th of November. Can you believe we're finally here?
It came up quick. It really did. It really did. And of course, this is like, a few years after the big fire. So we hope the crowds are going to be coming in. The thousands are expected to attend over this long period. But I want to know which food item would you like to experience there?
The sausage and the potato pancakes and all that stuff. But the very first line of this web script that we just showed, Steph, can you pronounce this for me? I just want you to try your German.
No, that's why I told
We're going to do it together.
No.
Okay,
No.
so it says New Braunfels, Texas. It says what?
That's what I was trying to do. That's why I was laughing.
Go for it.
No, I'm going to get it wrong.
No. It's part of the fun. Okay, so give it a shot.
Willkommen.
Willkommen.
Oh, willkommen.
Okay.
Right, I forgot
What's
about
the
that.
middle word?
Zoom.
Zoom, like COVID conference call. Yes, you're doing great.
Zoom.
And
Wurstfest.
or Wurstfest. So it's
Oh, duh.
Willkommen zum Wurstfest. Do you know what it means in German?
Welcome.
To?
Wurstfest?
Oh, you're close. It actually means welcome to the sausage festival. So theoretically, you could have the best worst. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a bratwurst fan. So let's try it one more time. You're going to nail it. Ready? Together. We're going to do it together. Ready?
I forgot.
Here we go.
Already.
Willkommen zum Wurstfest.
Wurstfest.
Dad, ausgezeichnet. Das ist fantastisch. My girlfriend is fluent. She was raised. I was going to call her and put her on the air right now.
Oh, so she could pronounce it.
So she could correct both of us. But I'm going to dodge that bullet.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy Wurstfest, and the weather's going to be.
And now you know.
Also fantastic.
Now I know.
Now
And
you
that was
know.
well done, by the way. And I'm waiting for Mark to break out into some polka music. It's only a matter of time.
Dankeschön, mein Freund.
Wurstfest. It's always a good time, honestly, as in the weather is going to be perfect if you're heading out there tonight or over the weekend. Looks really good. Let's go outside for you right now. We've got some clouds trying to move in. Right now, though, the sun's still shining here in San Antonio, and temperatures are making their way up through the 50s, close to 60 in some cases, 57 here in San Antonio. Now, there still are some 40s on the map. Bernie and Kerrville sitting at 46 right now. Not much of a wind chill, obviously. And with the late winds. Forecast today, 70 at 1 o'clock, 72 2 p.m., 74 this afternoon. Partly cloudy. Yes, I promised you good weather. There it is. Southerly winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, tonight, moisture starts to move in a little bit more, and that probably leads to a little bit of fog as we get into tomorrow morning. What about rain chances? We don't have any. Not until we get into next week. Thursday and Friday of next week, looking a little more encouraging, perhaps, with a cold front, with the possibility of some showers and storms. We'll discuss that a little bit further coming up here in just a bit. Let's get over to Steven now, who you said you've never been to Wurstfest, but
no, but I was actually there reporting when that fire broke out back in 2019. So that is something that I have to do this year. We're going to make it happen. We're talking about doing a GMSA at 9 field trip. So put that out there in the universe. Hey, and we're also putting out good vibes for traffic because things are looking great. The morning commute has been I wouldn't say rocky, but we did have some issues during the morning rush. You can see right now, Mike mentioned this earlier. I think Justin also just said this. Sunglasses is always a great idea. As you head out the door, you can see that you do have a lot of sun in that shot from TransGuide. So even if you're at home, maybe wear those sunglasses from your living room. Right now, we did have a major crash we were watching here along US 90 westbound at 151. That has cleared out, so that's good news. And we did have another crash here at 35 northbound at Brooklyn that has also since wrapped up. So that's good news to report, but we do have some congestion along US 90, and that's heading eastbound. And this is why we have that concrete work that is taking place, and it's going to wrap today, but crews are already out there, so just expect those delays at least up until 3 this afternoon. We'll see a single eastbound main lane closure, as you just saw on the map, from West Military Drive to General McMullen. A lot happening this weekend, so scan the QR code, get in the know before you have to go. We have a full list of all the closures taking place, so just, again, plan that commute ahead of time. Yes.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, San Antonio police have made an arrest in connection to a shooting at North Star Mall on Halloween evening. 52-year-old Eduardo Sanchez Jr. was arrested early this morning.
Now, according to police, Sanchez and 2 others were seen shoplifting at Macy's by 2 asset protection officers. When those officers confronted the 3, the woman and another man took off running while Sanchez got into a struggle with the officers. Now, when a 3rd officer showed up for backup, police say Sanchez pulled out a gun and shot one of the asset protection officers in the leg and then ran off.
Now, during the investigation, San Antonio police say they got tips from the public that led them to Sanchez, who was arrested early this morning. He's now facing 3 counts of aggravated robbery. No word on any other arrests.
And for now, let's look at today's 9 at 9. The fighting between Israeli forces and Hamas militants is intensifying in the air and on the ground. The death toll on both sides now topping 9,000 as the U.S. calls on Israel to allow more aid into Gaza. On Capitol Hill, a House Republican majority passed a $14 billion Israel aid package. That bill is likely dead on arrival in the Democrat-led Senate, and the president has vowed a veto.
Ford, GM, and Stellantis have agreed to pay workers on strike for their time on the picket lines. The arrangement is part of deals reached with the UAW. Workers who walked off the job will get about $100 a day for their time on strike, along with union workers who were temporarily laid off as a result of the strike.
Gas prices continue to go down at a slow but steady rate. Flat demand and lower costs for oil helped bring the average price for a gallon of unleaded to $3.44. That is 9 cents less than last week and 37 cents lower than last month. Of course, gas prices vary widely across the country. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of unleaded in San Antonio is $2.87.
Ford is recalling close to 200,000 Mustangs due to a brake fluid level sensor. It may not activate the visual warning indicator when brake fluid is low. The issue impacts 2020 through 2023 models. Ford says the fix is a software update that can be performed at dealerships at no cost to owners.
Mortgage rates have snapped a 7-week streak of increases. New Freddie Mac data shows that the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 7.76%. That is down from 7.79% the week before. A year ago, the average rate was just under 7%. This data comes just a day after the Federal Reserve said it would leave its benchmark lending rate where it is, but hasn't rolled out a hike before the year ends.
Initial jobless claims are up for the 2nd week in a row. Meanwhile, the number of continuing claims, which are filed by people who have received unemployment benefits for more than 1 week, are the highest since April. The increase could signal those who are unemployed are having a more difficult time finding work. Although claims are trending upward this month, they're still below historic averages.
TikTok says it has removed more than 24 million fake accounts and millions of posts since the war broke out between Israel and Hamas. The platform is pushing back on criticism on how its algorithm recommending content about the war.
Budgeting app Mint is shutting down at the end of the year. Mint's owner, Intuit, says its users will be moved to the company's other service, Credit Karma. It's unclear whether Credit Karma will be adjusted to offer the same type of budgeting features that Mint is known for.
The Starbucks holiday menu returns today, which means a lot of new options for fans of holiday-themed drinks. The peppermint mocha is back, along with newcomer iced gingerbread oat milk chai. And that's today's 9 at 9.
80 morning headlines. Video of a deadly crash involving a Porsche in Washington State, and some interesting numbers when it comes to teenagers and tobacco use.
Plus, it's time to change your clock and start up the debate about daylight saving time. And how about some news on cheaper holiday meals? David Sears is here with maybe some good news.
Yeah, it actually is good news about your holiday meal. It may not cost quite as much as it did last year, and you can actually find what you're looking for this year. Apparently. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, you're watching video of a Porsche literally flying down the road. This is happening just outside of Seattle, Washington. And here she comes, and watch the skid right there. And then we're going to show you as she heads over to this concrete barrier right here. It stopped because she hit that concrete barrier and the passenger died in that crash. This is the woman who was driving the car. It's 26-year-old Ting Yi. Believe it or not, she survived, but now she's gone. Like out of the country. The crash actually happened back in September. The video just being released. When first responders arrived, the passenger was found dead at the scene. They smelled alcohol on Yi's breath. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment. After a few days, she was released. The hospital did not notify the police when she left. They are not required to. So according to police, she crossed into Canada with the help of a friend and then flew to China. Prosecutors charged her with vehicular homicide, and a bail was set at $2 million. She was not in court that day, so now there's a warrant out for her. If she tries to come back to the country, she should be flagged since it's a nationwide warrant, and there is no U.S. extradition treaty with China. All right, you're looking at teenagers using e-cigarettes, and we are not blowing any smoke at you when we tell you that 1 out of 4 students in middle school and high school use e-cigarettes every day. That's according to the 2023 National Youth Tobacco Survey from the Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. More bad news. When you look at combined tobacco use for middle schoolers, the survey is showing that there is an increase in overall tobacco use of about 2%. It is a little better for high schoolers. There's an actual decrease in that age group of 4% from 17 down to 13%. When you combine middle and high school, about 1 in 10 students say they are currently using tobacco products. Most of those users prefer flavored e-cigarettes. They're the most common for the middle and high schoolers. Justin has been reminding us this for several days now. Sunday morning, a second after 1:59 a.m. is going to hit 1 a.m. again. Even though we are getting an extra hour of sleep, there's still a debate across the country and here in Texas. Should we change over to standard time in the winter or keep it like it is right now? Most want the sun setting later, more daylight for folks after they get off work to do stuff. Doctors and politicians, some of them really don't like to switch either.
While it may not seem like it's a big deal because it's only 1 hour, it can actually have an effect on our body because it can affect our sleep.
We have sunset in Rhode Island at 4:15. 4:15.
Rubio has introduced legislation a couple of times, and there has also been attempts here in Texas by some in Congress to hold off the change, but so far hadn't passed. Target and Walmart getting into the Thanksgiving spirit, offering less expensive holiday meals. So here you go, Steph. Target has a $25 meal that serves 4. It includes a 10-pound turkey, potatoes, green beans, cranberry sauce, stuffing, mix, and gravy. You can find the deal on Target's website. Walmart also has less expensive meals this year. They offer 2 meals, one you cook from scratch and a ready-to-bake option. They are cheaper than last year. So there's a couple options for you right there for Thanksgiving that seem to be
wonderful.
a little less expensive.
Well, yeah, usually so I cheat and I go to Cracker Barrel, but this year my brother is actually going to make Thanksgiving dinner, so I can tell him about the
Cracker
deals.
Barrel gets a break this year.
Yeah, they do. They're like, woo.
And I think we did a story the other day. I think turkeys are cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the
Yes, they are.
ingredients
Quite a bit.
are cheaper. So
Yeah, 20-30% lower than last year.
about time.
But
Here we
there
go.
are more available. I saw part of the meat case at HEB wide open and ready to go for turkeys this
Turkeys.
month.
So does this mean we eat more?
Sure.
I say yes.
Okay.
I don't see a downside to that. David, thank you. 9/11, 57 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Go Spurs, go. Wendy had another big night last night against the Suns, so Dave's going to come back. Yay! With RJ, with a look at those highlights coming up in your morning sports. But first,
to celebrate Arbor Day, more than 100 trees will be planted at this elementary school. The long-term benefits of this project coming up next.
9:15, about 140 elementary school students and school staff celebrating Arbor Day by planting about 142 trees on campus.
Tiffany Huertas joins us live from Driggers Elementary School with more on this project and its benefits. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. The sun is out and it's a perfect day to plant trees. Check it out. The kids are going in there, getting dirty and having lots of fun. We know that trees have a variety of benefits for the environment and people. And this morning they're planting more than 100 trees here at the school. And to talk more, we have Isaac and Jackie. Good morning to both of you. Isaac, let's start with you. Tell me about this project and partnership.
Great. Yeah, my name's Isaac Esquivel. I'm the environmental education teacher for Northside, and we go around and participate in restoration projects at the elementary schools. And so we are so excited to be here at Driggers today, restoring the trees here on this campus, planting, like you said, over 140 trees. And we could not have done this without our important partnership with Bare Branches Alliance. They have been key in making this happen, and we couldn't be more excited to work with them for years to come.
Jackie, the long-term benefits, tell us about those.
Yeah, so trees clean our air, our water. They mitigate stormwater flow. They also help mitigate heat island effect, which we have all endured this amazingly hot summer. So trees will help keep us cool. And they're also really good for our mental and physical health. So adding trees to school campuses will also help the students and enrich their learning environment.
And you can see that in their faces, because the moment they stepped out here, they were all smiling and just laughing and having a great time. Now, Isaac, tell me about the data that's being collected and how was this school chosen?
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what we're doing, what data we're collecting today. We're looking at the tree species name, the tree height, the circumference of the tree, and we collect that data, and we're going to be entering it into a citizen science project known as GLOBE. And so we'll be working with them specifically, and we'll be collecting data for decades to come. But specifically to answer your question on how we selected these schools, Bare Branches really helped us with that, and so I'm going to let Jackie explain that.
So we are a data-driven urban forestry nonprofit, and since we were established in July of 2021, we had to rely on all of the amazing data that's available to find the most vulnerable areas in Bexar County that need trees first. So all of the schools that were chosen were high risk in heat island effect, social vulnerability, and equity. So we want to make sure all of our programming is equitable throughout the county, and we have a lot of awesome data that helps us figure out which areas they are.
What a positive project here. Well, we'll stick around and we'll bring our viewers a little bit more information. Thank you to both of you. I love seeing the kids out here, and it's not cold. I'm wearing a sweater, but it's not cold. The sun's out. It's a beautiful day, and happy Friday.
Yes,
Happy Friday.
We'll send it back to
Tiffany.
Thank you, Tip.
Yeah, you're right. It's not too cold out there. Not compared to yesterday.
That's true, and the weekend's looking pretty good. And we're going to let Justin talk now.
Yeah, it is going to be warmer over the weekend. We had some cold days this week, obviously. Now we're starting to see things warm up, and it's actually going to get quite warm as we get into next week. Forecast for today, pretty close to awesome. A 72 at 2 o'clock. We'll be up around 74. That's our high this afternoon. We'll call partly cloudy. You'll see some clouds skirting through the sky from time to time, but not a big deal. In fact, we're seeing a few clouds this morning, and then we'll go partly cloudy as we head into tonight. So dew points are going to play a role in all this. We've got moisture starting to come back in. We've got dew points that are fairly low at the moment, but they rise as we get into tonight and certainly by tomorrow morning. So this is 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Dew points are in the upper 50s. That puts us in the pleasant category. The problem here, though, is the dew point reaches the temperature, and that's when you start to get some fog. So I think we start off tomorrow morning with some patchy fog here and there around San Antonio into the hill country, and this will reduce visibility briefly. I don't expect it to last very long. It'll go away by mid-morning, and then we'll break out into some more sun by tomorrow afternoon. All in all, the weekend looks good. 78 on Saturday, again, some morning patchy fog, and then Sunday, we'll call it mostly cloudy, warm, more humidity, and that overnight low of 60 on Sunday. So our overnight lows are warming too. This moisture helping to do that as well. And don't forget, David talked about this, but daylight saving time ends 2 a.m. Sunday morning. So our sunrise on Saturday will be at 7:49. On Sunday, it will be at 6:49. And sunset on Saturday, 6:45. On Sunday, it will be at 5:45. So some changes. We do get an extra hour of sleep if you want to look at it that way. Satellite picture shows that we have some clouds drifting through in spots. Some clouds, especially out west, Lake Union Valley. We're noticing some clouds around Del Rio, but it's hit or miss type stuff. Here in San Antonio, we've had a few passing clouds, but nothing too thick. And as we look out to the west with water vapor, which shows us where we have moisture in the atmosphere, we don't have much moisture here west of California, but we do notice a spin. And that is an area of low pressure that we'll be watching. Doesn't necessarily move in, but some of the energy will. And that's, I think, going to be our next chance of rain. Some of the energy moves through actually Sunday to Monday, and that's when we get more clouds, but no rain. But as we get into next week, Some of that energy begins to move in by Thursday and Friday. That comes along with a frontal boundary. So those two things together should give us some rain chances. Right now they're a low end Thursday and Friday, but it'll be something to watch. We're still a week away. But that'll be, I think, our next weather maker. And hopefully we'll get some rain back in the forecast because the extended forecast is honestly a pretty dry one. 78 Saturday, 80 Sunday, as we mentioned, 82 Monday, still mostly cloudy. And it gets downright hot Tuesday and Wednesday, highs in the mid-80s. We'll cool it down a little bit, potentially with that front on Thursday, 20% chance of rain with a high of 79. We'll be right back.
924, local couple fell for a cold and calculated scam and were wiped out of their life savings.
The FBI is warning a new twist on an old fraud is now circulating, and it's targeting seniors and their savings, retirement, and investment accounts.
12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz explains why the couple says the criminals were so slick and convincing.
I went in after breakfast to the computer like I always did.
But Dennis Shockey was about to be sucked into a month-long swindle.
Well, we lost total $170,550.
A lifetime of savings for 80-year-old Dennis and his wife, Joy.
It seems like they take advantage of elderly people that, have worked all their lives to have some money to fall back on, and they're evil.
It started when Dennis's computer froze and a warning popped up with a phone number he thought was Microsoft.
That's strange. I'd never seen this, so I called the number.
And you thought you were speaking to Microsoft?
Absolutely.
That began a calculated scam the FBI calls the Phantom Hacker.
Over the next 30 days, Dennis spoke to not one, but two imposters. First, the Microsoft fake, who convinced him that hackers were at work and he should give her control of his computer.
All this time, our computer has all these numbers rotating on the television.
Enter imposter number 2, a man Dennis thought was his bank's fraud officer.
So he said, yes, it appears that in the wee hours of the morning, there was 3 attempts to take money from your account.
Fear is the number one tool that criminals will use. They get you quickly thinking fight or flight. I have to solve this problem today. And let's be honest, they're good at what they do.
The imposters instructed Dennis to move his savings to a secure crypto account for safekeeping, and what to say if the tellers asked questions. On the day their $170,000 was to be returned, the realization.
By late morning, I told Joy we've been had. We've been scammed.
We couldn't cry. We were just stunned. We just couldn't believe what had happened.
It's like getting kicked in the stomach.
The Shockeys have sold their cars to pay their bills. They've lost their nest egg, but still have faith.
What do you do now?
Well, Jesus is our Lord and Savior, so he is our protector.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Microsoft says warning messages never include a phone number, and fraud experts say never, ever give a stranger remote access to your computer.
Also, do not wire money to people you don't know, and if something feels off, it's time to stop and talk to someone you trust.
927, 57 degrees.
We'll be right back.
CPS Energy getting ready to ask for another rate hike less than 2 years after their last request.
CPS is working on the presentations it will make next week to the Board of Trustees as well as the San Antonio City Council. As Garrett Barringer reports, while it's expected, this hike very well could be a harder sell this time around.
$4.45. That's how much CPS Energy says monthly residential bills would go up under its new rate proposal, which it will formally present next Wednesday, November 8th. A spokeswoman says CPS hopes to get it approved by the end of the year and put into effect by February, less than 2 years after the last increase took effect in March 2022. Before then, there hadn't been a rate increase in nearly 8.5 years. Now, the utility's looking at more regular increases.
I can tell you we'll need to come in 2 years from now and have a conversation, and then likely this 2 years from then, we'll at least need to put a placeholder in case there's still some work to do.
The 4.25% is enough to bring in $85 million a year to CPS. The utility saying it plans to take incremental bites at the apple as it tackles improvements and growth.
We got, 2/3 of our generation that's going to come offline that we've got to replace and then some. We've got our aging technology infrastructure immediately that has to be replaced.
The March 2022 increase included a 3.85% bump to the base rates and a higher fuel adjustment charge. Combined, the utility said at the time it would have a $5.10 impact on the average residential bill. Of the council members still on council, only Jalen McKee Rodriguez and Terry Castillo voted against the last increase. Manny Pelaez, who voted for it, warned his vote is not guaranteed this time.
But the reality is that never before have I been put in a position where my constituents have been put under this much pressure. And there comes a point, right, where I think it's fair for council to say no.
We have a link to a CPS website on the rate request and information on how to sign up to speak at next week's CPS board meeting on our website. Just find this story at KSAT.com. I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Look out there with the live cam. It is warming up. I went outside earlier to our KSAT garden to check on the plants out there. And it was warming up quite a bit. Sun's out, and we can't wait for this weekend,
Yeah,
Justin.
it's warming up. By the way, Mark, your beard looks great.
Right?
I like your beard.
Yours too, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a look at some of the clouds we have on KSAT Connect. This is a beautiful, beautiful shot. We had a smoldering sunrise. I like that terminology. It was beautiful, a lot of colors. Skywatcher Oscar sent this in. Always a great photographer. We appreciate it, as always. And we still have some of those clouds skirting through the sky at this hour. Pollen count is in. Molds are low. They're at 240. There's not a lot of problems out there. We're losing a lot of those fall allergens. No complaints here. 66 noontime. We're at 72 by 2 o'clock. 74 is our high temperature today. Partly cloudy and a beautiful evening. Good evening for Friday Night Football. We'll be in the 60s and 70s with a light winds. Perfect football weather, guys.
Justin. Well, the Spurs fans who stayed up late last night got a real show from Wemby and another win.
Yeah, Victor went off last night in Phoenix. David is back, joined by RJ to discuss the big night and the football weekend ahead. Morning, guys.
Happy
Morning.
Friday.
That's going to be the problem this year when they play on the West Coast and those 9 o'clock games. It's like now you can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
You can't go to bed. You got to sit and watch it. And then it's like done at 11:30 and you're going, oh, man, we should have gone to sleep. But to watch this kid play.
Yeah. Well, it was absolutely worth it last night, David.
Man.
I mean, Victor Wembanyama was simply dominant. Second game here, the back-to-back against Phoenix. And where do you even start with this guy?
Well, right there
Runs
with
the
an
floor.
alley-oop slam.
I mean, yeah.
I think
was unstoppable.
The rest of his teammates are starting to figure out what he can and cannot do, and he can pretty much do everything. They went up 13-0. There's KD with a three before Phoenix even knew what hit him. The Spurs were up 13-0. Look at that. It's like he's already at the rim. It's like he doesn't have to hardly take a step. But he had a great first half. The Spurs had a great first half. There's another alley-oop for you. See, they're figuring it all out. They're starting.
Throw it up to the tall guy.
And Trey Jones is really playing well.
Yeah,
throw it to the tall guy.
Around the rim was unbelievable.
They had a big lead, and then they held on to that lead through the third quarter. Here's more Wemby for you. Look at just right at the basket. He's got soft hands. Knows where he is.
Keldon's what are you going to do?
Yeah, even Keldon doesn't go, y'all ain't got a chance. They were up 27. The Suns came back and tied it at 116, and you're going, oh, no, here we go. But then, watch what happens.
Yeah.
It's
Victor Wembanyama ended up taking over, here late in the game here, 116 tied up, and they just went back to Wemby. Zach Collins with a nice dump there to Wemby.
Where's the foul?
Should have gone foul there.
Where's the foul? See, he wants to know where the foul is. You'll get that. You'll get that eventually, young fella. You got to be around the league a little bit before they start giving you foul shots. Yeah, exactly. And then look at that three, and then watch this. Where is he? There he is. Just come out there from the free throw line. Just hit that one too.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got such a soft touch.
So he finished, David, 38 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 assists. And I saw the Spurs tweet this out yesterday. He's the first player since Shaq to get over 85 points plus, I think it's 50 rebounds and plus 10 blocks, or 35 rebounds and plus 10 blocks. First 5 games of his career since Shaq, all the way back in 1992.
Wow. Off to a great start. The Spurs, he has got the third most points by a Spurs rookie. David Robinson, as a rookie, had 41, and then I think he
39.
had 39.
Yes, yeah.
And he had 38 last night. So there's a good chance he's going to be ahead of David Robinson before this is all over, especially if he keeps doing that all season.
And David, we've talked about this. I mean, David Robinson came in and he was already, 23, 24,
Well,
had
he
a couple of years in the naval service.
So,
This guy's 19 and he's already doing this. You see the guy's reaction to it. I mean, they're getting to the point, like you said, just throw it up to him and let him kind of make a play. And again, his touch and balance and finesse around the rim has been incredible so far.
All right, so they're back home for like a one-game
did win.
stand, a one-game homestand against the Raptors. How are the Raptors doing? Are they good this year? I didn't pay attention.
Okay.
Frostbank Center tip-off for that one is at 2:30.
Wemby Mania.
So
Wemby has arrived.
going for two in a row on the road. Think about that.
Against Phoenix.
Against
a
Phoenix.
team that was trying to win last night. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, they both played. They were trying to win.
They're supposed to be like one of the teams contending for the West title,
Impressive stuff.
right? So, all right.
Okay.
So here we go. Big game coverage. Ooh, it's going to feel like football Friday night. And it's going to be a football Friday night. This is it, right? This is the end of the regular season.
This is it, the end of the regular season. We got a lot of stuff on the line here. David Brandeis taking on Reagan. The Broncos are 4-3 in district, so tied for fourth place right now. They could end up in a three-way tie for fourth with Clark and Roosevelt. So the Broncos need this win, but Reagan has been the best team all year across the city.
Yeah, they started off hot and stayed hot all season, and that's one reason why. They got a great running game.
Yeah, looking to stay unbeaten here. The Reagan, they're 9-0.
Wow.
And by the way, they also have Texas State commit Brad Jackson on this team. Shout out Texas State.
Oh, there you go. See, you snuck that in there. I like that's good.
You like that? Okay.
I like that.
Tonight, first.
So, because you know where we're going.
Yes, I know. This
Texas
is all
Tech
you hear.
See, this was awesome.
Some memes, some jokes were said. This is like Dad dragging me out of bed for school early in the morning.
Exactly.
I love that. That's like the most West Texas thing that you could think of. A possum running onto a football.
You can't get any better than that.
That before picture, he looked kind of majestic.
The best mascot that no one's using.
There you go.
You're right.
Possum.
You're right.
So.
That's next, Mark.
All right, and then actually
Tech
Tech
took care of
won last
business
night.
there, David.
35-28. They're like
Congrats on that
4-5 in the year now.
Yeah.
So hey, things are going in the right direction for them. They had a good game last night after the possum showed up.
Shout out to the possum.
After they got rid of the
Bring
possum.
the possum back. It's good luck.
Really. So. And speaking of college football, look at these matchups coming up this weekend. UTSA 4-0 in conference, trying to stay 5-0 going against North Texas. Got to keep up with SMU and Tulane, right?
Yeah, big rivalry matchup there up the road in Denton. Hopefully the Roadrunners can take care of business. And then our game tomorrow, Texas at home against K-State.
This is going to be interesting because Texas needs to win since Oklahoma lost. Mm-hmm. Texas is now 7th. They're even 7th in the college football rankings for the playoffs. So they can get in the championship and beat Oklahoma, and some other weird things happen with the top 4 teams. Mm-hmm. They could very well
be. Sneak in there. Yeah.
And the poll came out this week. The surprise was Ohio State was number 1 and Georgia was number 2.
Right.
But it doesn't really matter if you're in.
A long ways to go.
Yeah,
and then, look at that one. Texas A&M in Oxford taking on Ole Miss. All right, Justin.
Hey.
No love lost between
Didn't you win last week?
Lane Kiffin.
That's a fun match.
A&M win last week?
They did, yeah.
Okay, well, they can go for 2 in a row.
He doesn't look very confident. Bring the possum back for that game.
Yeah, bring the possum.
All right, NFL action. David, Bucks on the road. Texans looking to bounce back after that tough loss there at Carolina last week. And then the big one here.
Oh, get
the
your
game
popcorn.
of the week. Yeah, this is
popcorn out for this one.
That's going to be
the Cowboys cannot do what they did against the 49ers. They cannot play like that and just get blown right out of the gym or off the field. They got to come out better. And the way they played the last 2 games, you would think that they have a little bit of momentum going and maybe they won't, And Philadelphia has only got 1 loss, but they've struggled against some teams like Washington last week.
Yeah,
Washington always plays Philly tough. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Dallas is a better team than they were when they faced the Niners.
Let's hope.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game because right now the Eagles are kind of separating themselves a little bit from the pack. So if Dallas can get this win, that evens them up with 2 losses apiece, and Dallas is essentially right there in the division. We've seen the 49ers lose 3 straight, but Philly always tough at home.
And I think they played the Eagles like twice in 6 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over 6 game span. So it's like the Eagles away, and then they played 3 or 4 more, and then the Eagles come to Dallas.
It's a heavy NFC East schedule on the last half of the season for them, for sure.
Great weekend.
Let's end on an NBA note. You were asking about Toronto. They're 2-4 so far.
Okay.
Spurs 3-2.
Look that up.
Best in the West right now is the Dallas Mavericks at 4-0.
And we should have beaten them on opening night.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should have beaten them.
Yep.
We'll get
Long season.
Thank you, guys.
A lot of Wemby to come.
Have a good weekend. 9:42, 59 degrees.
Watching GMSA at 9. Let's check out ZooCam this morning. We're looking at cranes. Oh, is that one right there? Oh, okay. This is in the shade, so we can't really see. But this is where we normally see the whooping crane, and we tell you that today is a good day to go to the zoo because the weather is pretty nice right now. We'll be right back.
9:45, the holiday shopping season is in full swing, and the National Retail Federation has released its sales forecast for this season.
Despite high inflation, shoppers are expected to spend more than they did last year.
CNN's Mike Valerio shares some of the best time to shop for deals.
'Tis the season of spending, and despite concerns over the economy, the National Retail Federation says consumers are ready to spend big.
NRF is forecasting that total holiday sales during the months of November and December could reach as high as $967 billion.
The holiday shopping season keeps creeping earlier and earlier. This year, it's for a very practical reason.
They want more time to find deals, and they want more time to really spread out that shopping.
With inflation holding steady, NRF Vice President Catherine Collins says holiday shoppers are more price conscious.
Shoppers are saying they will pull back in other areas in order to afford and prioritize their holiday shopping season. They will search for sales and deals and really look for ways to make every dollar count.
And where are they putting those dollars?
Gift cards were the top item that people said they were shopping for this year rather than specific products.
Another big trend this season, beauty and self-care products, thanks in part to influencer culture.
Shoppers are finding influencers and social media to be increasingly important when it comes to hearing about deals, but also discovering new products and things that they didn't know they needed.
As far as deals goes, Kristen McGrath with Retail Me Not says Black Friday shopping is still the best bang for your buck.
We tend to find the most deals and the best deals all concentrated around that one big weekend.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio.
I'm a very last minute person, but yesterday I was looking for something else and I saw all the holiday bags already, and I'm like, you know what? And there are already a lot missing.
Well,
for
that's
Christmas
smart.
already, and it's what, November 3rd.
That's smart. That's smart. Get on
It's too
that.
fast.
It all happens very fast.
does.
All of it. It feels like just yesterday it was like 112 or whatever it was. So it's nice. It's nice that we're in this kind of weather. Great Friday Night Football. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago when we were playing Friday Night Football in 90 and 100 degree weather. So this is great. 70 at kickoff, 66 halftime. That sunset at 6:46. Partly cloudy, light southeasterly wind should be good for the games tonight. Let's look at the current temperatures across the country. There's nothing that is terribly cold. We watch Canada, the northern tier states, see if there's any pockets of cold air that are headed in our direction. There honestly are not. So we're kind of stuck in a pattern here where temperatures will actually be pretty mild. Really, no matter where you go across the country. 57 right now here in San Antonio and across Texas. You got 40s and 50s. This is typical weather. A little warmer down there along the coast, as it often is, with some moisture. 64 Corpus Christi, 68 right now in Brownsville. And our forecast high today, right around 74. If you're watching us from Elmendorf, 77 there. 78 Floresville, 79 down in Karn City or Kennedy, 75 Gonzales, 77. The forecast high in Divine today. Dew point trend. Now this is something to watch. Dew points are starting to climb a little bit. We've got more of a southeasterly wind. And by tomorrow, I think there's just enough moisture where that temperature and dew point get close together. That should lead to a little bit of fog. We may see that actually a couple mornings in a row as dew points slowly increase into the 60s and it gets a little more muggy by next week. Speaking of that futurecast fog, I think probably starts to develop around 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Around 7 o'clock, we'll see some patchy fog here or there. It's not going to be terribly widespread, and it should go away pretty quickly, but I do want to urge you, it could be a little foggy to start your Saturday. Right now, we've got partly cloudy skies and beautiful weather here across San Antonio. Temperatures right now in the upper 50s, 53 in New Braunfels, 56 in Seguin, 55 in Bernie. We've got light winds here across the board. We're up above 50 now in the hill country as well. Satellite picture, well, we do have some passing mid-level clouds, pretty similar to yesterday. A few areas where they're a little thicker, but I think generally speaking, no matter where you are in South Texas today, you're going to be looking at partly cloudy conditions. 62 in Gonzales, 61 Kennedy, 59 right now in Carrizo Springs, 50s and 60s here around Bexar County, and we make our way up into the 70s this afternoon. Futurecast, we mentioned that area of low pressure out west. It doesn't really hold together and move in our direction. Send some clouds towards us by Sunday and Monday. And some of the energy eventually gets pulled up into South Texas. We combine that with a front and some decent moisture by Thursday and Friday of next week. That'll be our next chance of rain. We're not going to get too excited about it yet. Looks like it'll be spotty type stuff, but something to look forward to perhaps next week with some rain in the forecast, and we did put in a 20% chance on Thursday. All right, 78 Saturday, 80 Sunday. Good looking weekend. Don't forget to fall back. We've been saying it all morning, but it's worth reminding you again. 82 Monday and then mid 80s next week before that front potentially cools us down Thursday into Friday.
That's more tolerable for you, the 80s.
Yeah, I'm just fine with the 80s. You know, the mornings are nice. It's pretty perfect.
It was cold and you didn't wear your jacket during the newscast. It's warming up. Now you have your jacket back on. Fashion choice or?
Well, no, it was cold in here this morning.
Okay.
It was.
It was.
Okay.
It's like when it starts getting warmer, they turn the air down more, and it's a whole thing.
That's true. It's different indoors than outdoors.
Yes, it is.
9:51, 59 degrees.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 9:54. So there are a few events going on this weekend, including the Diwali Festival of Lights. The free event returns to the Arneson River Theater and Behemoth Fair tomorrow. This will mark the 15th year, and that will be from 4:30 p.m. to midnight.
Celebrating the traditions of India, the Diwali Festival of Lights will have traditional Indian dance and entertainment, in addition to food and merchant booths from various parts of India.
And tomorrow is also free landfill day. So this is from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can drop off any bulky items that you want to get rid of at the Republic Services landfill. This is off of I-10 near North Foster Road, or at the Waste Management landfill on Cobble Road on the southwest side. So you must bring a valid picture ID and a copy of your most recent CPS Energy bill showing the city's environmental fee.
All loads must be covered with a tarp, and customers are highly encouraged to wear safety vests. For a list of materials that are accepted and not accepted, just look for this story on KSAT.com.
And here at KSAT, along with our community partners, we want to remind you to roll up your sleeves and get your flu shot. Bexar County and University Health are offering them for free. They are hosting a flu shot clinic. This is tomorrow from 8 in the morning until noon. So register and find out all the details. You can go over to ksatcommunity.com.
And we're starting to make our way into the 60s, on our way to 70s this afternoon. Good looking weekend near 80 both days. A little more cloud cover Sunday into Monday. Some rain chances next week. And don't forget, it's No Shave November. If you want to donate, my beard's starting to look a little bit better. Raising money for good cause.
I know you're ready to bring the beard back.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah, just in time for November.
That's right.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend.